Hi, I'm Shermie Cadabona, and I'm coming to you from Sutter Health Institute for Health and Healing. Thanks for joining me today for our second installment of our five-part series on Qigong movement to boost energy. Today, we're going to focus on the lungs, and the lungs are one of the three organ systems that are involved in either creating qi for your body or helping it move. And so just a quick overview. The three organ systems that are involved are the lungs, the spleen, and the kidneys. So how does that work? Well, according to Chinese medicine principles, we take in air through the lungs, and that combines with the spleens taking in food qi, and so we have air qi plus the food qi, it's the lungs and the spleen, and those two together create what we call gathering qi, or zong qi in Chinese. Sorry for the mispronunciation for you Chinese speakers out there. Obviously, I'm not a Chinese speaker, but anyway, that the air and the food qi combine, and it gathers in the chest. And then what happens is that the lung qi, because the lungs are the uppermost organ, the qi of the lungs descends to the lower half of the body, and it goes down to the kidneys. So the lung qi descends to the kidneys, and that coordination between the lungs and the kidneys is what harmonizes our breathing. That's what makes it possible in terms of Chinese medicine principles. So that's a real quick overview. So let's talk about the lungs. Here we see a diagram of the lung meridian. So the meridian, or channel as we call it, is a pathway that the qi of the lungs travels through. So it's just a pathway. And so the lung meridian happens to be primarily down the arm. It starts in the lung organ and then proceeds to the top of the arm and then down to the thumb. It's a pretty short meridian, relatively speaking. So in Chinese medicine, the lungs are considered the connection between the body and the outside world. And so what that means is, as we breathe in, as we breathe the outside air, it comes into the insides of our bodies. And so that is kind of our first line of defense would be through the lungs. So if we wanted to make an analogy here, the lungs would be analogous to the immune system, since, the lungs kind of interact with the outside pathogens that can enter the body. And the qi of the lungs is very important there. Let's come down here to the next slide. And here's a list of the functions of the lung organ. And we're not going to get into all of these functions individually. There's just not enough time for that. But what I really want to point out to you is that these lung functions, from a Chinese medicine perspective, are very different than the way we think of the lungs from a Western standpoint. And, I just want to get you used to seeing things a little bit differently through the lens of Chinese medicine, and just notice that it's just a different way of looking at the body, and that's all. It's just a different way. So the first function that you see up top there is that the lungs govern qi and respiration, and I touched on that just a little bit about how the lungs, the qi of the lungs mixes with the qi of the food, and the spleen is involved there. So that's pretty much what I wanted to focus on today. And I'm going to go back to our previous slide here. And so in a lot of Qigong exercises, in whole or in part, the exercise very often traces the pathway of that meridian of the organ that you're working with. So in this case, today, our exercise is going to basically be about tracing the pathway of the lung meridian. So let's come down here. And what I want everybody to do at home is, or from your office, wherever you are, just go ahead and stand up. And I'm going to stand up too. And we're going to go through this exercise for the lungs. So just a quick review from last time, if you were with me. We had our starting and ending point right here with the hands just below your belly button here. So the traditional way is for females to have your left hand below the belly button, right hand on top. For males, it's the opposite. And I say do whatever is more comfortable, because your body will have just a certain preference, and it'll one way is usually more comfortable than the other for most people. So this is your starting point, right? And so what this represents is you're gathering the qi right here at your center. So what we did from last time was we took our 3 cleansing breaths, and I'll just demonstrate. You inhale here, palms are facing downward, then they switch, and then bring your hands down in front of you as you exhale. So this is gathering qi from the earth, and then your hands flip over and you're pulling down qi from the heavens and sending that qi all the way down through the bottom of your feet. And the breathing again is you inhale here and exhale as your hands come down in front of you, and you send that qi down to the bottom of your feet. Okay, so we do that 3 times and then come back to this position. Now let me demonstrate what the exercise is for the lungs, and like I said, tracing the lung meridian. So we're going to start here. Hands come up as you inhale. Open up, exhale. And if you want, you can widen your stance. Just step out with your left foot, widen that stance out. And you're going to inhale and bring your hands together. Okay, now as you exhale, you're going to trace on your left arm the pathway of the lung. So I'm exhaling here. I'm not touching my arm. I'm just hovering over. And at the full exhale is where I end up right here, fully extended. I inhale, trace back in the opposite direction. And then exhale, tracing on the right arm this time. Again, hovering above the arm, you're not really touching. And at the end of your exhale, you should end up here, fully extended. And again, inhale, trace and exhale. Okay. And I'm looking forward just to, as part of the demonstration, but your gaze should actually follow the extended arm. You're looking to the side here. There's the end of your exhale. You inhale, Bring it forward, and now your gaze follows your left hand as you exhale. Okay? And then if we were on our last repetition, I would inhale here, bring the feet together, exhale. As your hands come together, inhale, hands come in, and exhale, hands come down, and back to your starting position. Okay, so if we're doing this as an exercise by itself and just doing the exercise for the lungs, we would typically start with the 3 breaths. That's the gathering from the earth and pulling down from the heavens. We do that move 3 times. And then we would do the lung exercise 8 times. And you could do 4 times on each arm. So let's run through that. Okay, hopefully I'm not going too fast for folks, but we'll do a little repetition here. Okay, so when you're doing these exercises, as best you can, get to a quiet place where you can notice your breathing and just de-stress for a moment. Okay, I'm demonstrating these exercises standing. However, you could do it sitting down if you needed to. All right, so again, starting position. Feet are not exactly touching together, but close together. And from here, open up the hands. Inhale, palms down. Flip the palms up. And exhale down. Move that chi through your body so it exits out the bottom of your feet. That's 1. And here's number 2. As you inhale and exhale. And number 3, inhale and exhale. And back to your starting position. So pause for a moment here. Be mindful of what we're doing. And put your attention to your lungs now. Okay, we start this exercise by inhaling. Bring your hands up to chest level. Exhale as you open up. Okay, widen your stance. Inhale. Bring those hands together in front of you. Now exhale, we're going to go to the left side first. Follow your extended arm. Inhale as you trace back the other direction. And exhale, your gaze follows your extended hand. Inhale, coming back the other direction. For those that are counting, this is number 3. Inhale. Exhale. This is number 4. Inhale as you trace to the tip of the fingers. And exhale as you go to the left. Number 5. Number 6. And make sure you're breathing in, out. Try and be as relaxed as possible. In and out. This is our last repetition. So on our last one, you just exhaled. Now inhale, open both arms, bring your feet back together. Exhale here as the hands come to the front. Inhale, bring the hands in. And exhale as you send the chi down through your feet into the center of the earth. And that is what a full repetition or one full set of that exercise looks like. Okay, we use the breathing exercise or the cleansing breath to close. Okay, so we inhale here and exhale. And we do this 3 times, just like we did at the beginning. Inhale, exhale here. And our last one, inhale. And exhale. And here we go, back to our starting position. So that's basically what it looks like. Again, it's you open the exercise with the cleansing breaths or pulling from, gathering from the earth, pulling down from the heavens. Do that 3 times. Do your Qigong, the main Qigong exercise. This time it was for the lungs. We do that 8 times, which in this case, since we're doing it on each side, it ends up being 4 times on each side. And then from there, you do your closing, which is the same as your opening. We bookend the exercise with that cleansing breath. Okay, so just to recap, come back here. Just to recap, again, the lungs are involved, they're one of the 3 organs that are involved in either making chi for your body or helping direct it in some way, directing the movement of that chi. And so the other organs are the spleen and the kidneys. So today's work on the lungs, you could do this just by itself. This exercise is great not only for boosting your energy, but for immunity. Your immune system. Like I said before, the lungs are the connection between our bodies and the outside world. And so it's our first level of defense from a Chinese medicine point of view. So keeping your lungs healthy is super important for the immune system. So you could do this by itself, or as we progress into the next sessions, you can add on the other exercises as well. But, you know, it's fine to do an exercise and just concentrate on one organ system by itself. So that brings us to our conclusion. And thanks for watching and listening. And reach out and say hello if you're around. This is Shermie Cadabona coming to you from the Institute for Health and Healing in San Francisco. And great being with you today, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.